He branded his shirt as a joke, but, to his surprise, it turned into a billion-dollar brand. Worth almost $1 billion, the now famous Lacoste was founded by René Lacoste, who was a 29-year-old French tennis player actually nicknamed the Crocodile. French tennis player René Lacoste started Lacoste, initially La Société Chemise Lacoste, in 1933. René earned the moniker the Crocodile for his aggressiveness on the tennis courts. During his career, he had won 7 Grand Slam singles championships and was ranked number 1 in the world in 1926 and 1927. The croc insignia that he wore on his tennis shirts and which became the Lacoste brand logo and can be seen on all of their products, was inspired by this nickname. Around 1927, when sportswear wasn't the most advanced, French-born René was at the top of his game. He discovered himself looking for a tennis suit that would allow him more movement. During an interview in 1979, René had said, "One day I noticed my friend the Marquis of Cholmondeley wearing his polo shirt on the court, which seemed like quite a practical idea." In fact, René hired an English tailor to make a few polo shirts in both cotton and wool because it was so useful. Soon everyone started wearing them. Nearly no other competitor donned the traditional jacket, cap, and trousers ensemble in subsequent competitions after Lacoste was photographed playing in a polo shirt and shorts. Lacoste was once referred to as the alligator by the media at the American Open after he notably outbid the captain of the French Davis Cup squad over a gator-skin luggage. Instead of calling him an alligator, his admirers referred to him as the Crocodile. It's unclear why they made the change. Perhaps his European fanbase didn't want to support an American animal. The moniker pleased him, and he cherished it. He was physically large, and his nose was also large, much like his reptilian counterpart. His act was full of violent twists and turns. He came back the next year wearing a blazer with an embroidered crocodile on the pocket. This would go on to become the very first athlete personal brand. Lacoste started marketing his own line of polo shirts to the people of Europe in 1933. There was just a small portion of the population who could possibly afford to spend a lot of money on a luxury polo shirt, even if they weren't the most lucrative sellers at the time. After introducing his initial line of colored shirts, René opened his first company in the United States in 1952. Lacoste collaborated with the English company Izod in the United States. Consequently, the company's name changed to Izod Lacoste or even Izod in America. The polos initially struggled to separate themselves from the brands that the wealthy elite already trusted, which was a similar issue. In January 2018, the shirts were offered for the equivalent of $75. The CEO of Izod, René's business partner, decided to give several Lacoste shirts to his close friends, President Eisenhower and JFK, after anticipating bankruptcy. The shirts quickly became quite popular after they were seen wearing them, and most department stores had them on their shelves. It may even be said that this was the beginning of preppy fashion as we know it today. It had never been done before to pair a designer polo with dress trousers and shoes, giving off the president's sense of relaxed elegance. In the 1970s and 1980s, when Lacoste truly took off, all around America, school children wore monochromatic polos, frequently with the collar popped. The reason for this was the Lacoste shirt's low cost. It is stated that Izod is to blame for the reason why the price of these garments dramatically decreased in the late 1970s and early 1980s. While Lacoste sought to sell at a higher price to the wealthy, the brand aspired to appeal to the mainstream market. The two businesses divided as a result of their disagreement in 1993. Lacoste was connected to a different group of people in England at the same time as it was in America. The brand was embraced by football casuals, and it quickly rose to prominence alongside Stone Island and Adidas. The football community still adores Lacoste's simple aesthetics. René Lacoste passed away in 1996. Even now, Lacoste sells subtle shirts fashioned from premium materials, carrying on his legacy. In just 2 years, he transformed tennis players' attire, switching them all from pants and sweatshirts to shorts and polo shirts. It's possible to argue that those 2 years saw more change in tennis apparel than in subsequent years. Today, his timeless button-up shirts and polo shirts are the ideal choices for both formal and casual clothing. Because of French designer Christophe Lemaire's efforts to give Lacoste a more contemporary, premium appearance, its popularity soared in the early 2000s. Nearly 50 million Lacoste goods were sold in more than 110 nations in 2005. The contracts that Lacoste signed with a number of young tennis players, including American tennis star Andy Roddick, French rising young prospect Richard Gasquet, and Swiss Olympic gold medalist Stanislas Wawrinka, also helped the brand become more well known.